Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything's good where you are. Everything here is dandy. It's Wednesday. It's work from home day, which is my favorite day of the week. I get probably the most done I get done is on Wednesdays. That's actually factual. I do more work, more quality work on Wednesdays. I shouldn't say more work. Just better work on Wednesdays than I do when I go to the office. And it's just, there's meetings at the office, there's other interdepartmental discussions that happen. There's very little reason for me to be in the actual building. There is a little bit of collaboration going on between me and a couple of teammates on the product that we're currently fleshing out, which is good to do in person, and we've had some good discussions about it. But the actual work, I'm just much more comfortable doing it here. But that's beside the point. What I wanted to talk to you tonight about was this top. So I filled it with epoxy. And if I remember, I will put some images up here. I remember yesterday I said that I was going to put some pictures up of the space or something, and I forgot to do that. So, whoops. Always wonderful to when you watch a video and somebody says, oh, right here you'll see this, and then you never see it. Whatever. So if I remember, I'll put some pictures or some short videos up of what I did at this top. I did it on two sides. So there's some epoxy fill on both sides of the table. One of them I filmed, one of them I did not. Oh my. And I now have the problem of trying to flatten the epoxy. The epoxy that I bought is a countertop epoxy from East Coast resin. So this stuff is crystal clear epoxy resin for gloss, super gloss coating. It's essentially made for like pouring bar tops, essentially, or like plastic tops. But I didn't want it for that. I wanted it to fill voids in this wood because I bought some lower grade lumber intentionally. And I didn't want to use 5-minute epoxy or something like that. I needed something a little bit more runny, and that's what this stuff is. It's nice and runny and it self-levels, but it's thick enough that it does kind of pull up. And so I've got some lumps that I have to now bring back down flat with the surface of the tabletop, and I thought I could use my little block plane for that. I spent some good time last night sharpening the plane blade. It was very, very sharp. And I took it to the resin, and it just skips. It just like, and it really doesn't want to cut the resin. So I took the blade down to the thinnest possible cut it'll take. And it still just wants to kind of skip off of the resin. It dulls almost instantly, and I had to resharpen. And it's just, this isn't the solution that I need. So I don't know what the solution is. I've seen a lot of people make things out of epoxy and not struggle so much with it like I feel like I am. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I bought a belt sander a couple of months back. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for like $20. It's an old Craftsman belt sander. I've shown it to you. I think that's the plan. I'll wheel this thing outside on a table and put a dust mask on and try to sand this stuff flush. But I'm really not sure if that's the correct solution either. So I guess the question is, if you've ever done epoxy pour like this, what do you do to shave down the lumpy epoxy? Maybe it's just because this is a $10 block plane, it doesn't want to cut it. Maybe I need a low angle jack plane or something like that. Or maybe the answer is take a belt sander, cover yourself with head to toe, and just go to town until it's flat, which is probably going to be the way I go. I suspect from the way that the shavings came off of this planer, this is like really crumbly fine material. I suspect that it will gum up my sanding belts pretty quickly. If that's the case, I'll just have to replace a bunch of belts until I get the thing flat. But, I have it poured. I think all the voids are filled. I'll sand it. There's still some gaps, not gaps, but when I planed it, when I put the biscuits in for the joinery, I tried really hard. Some of the boards had some cupping, so I tried really hard to push down on them and get them as flat as I could, but they weren't perfect. So I still have some spots where the boards aren't lined up perfectly this way. So I'll have like some high spots that'll all have to get sanded down. And I'll just put like a 60 grit belt on that sander and go to town on this thing until I get a flat side. The underside, I will try to flatten as best I can, but I'm not going to be crazy about it. And then it's assembly time. But, you know, this week's been a little bit crazy. I told you that I'm taking the kids camping this weekend. We're leaving Friday morning, so I've been trying to get ready for that, make sure I have supplies. Camping is expensive. I don't think people realize that. To be able to go spend a few days in the woods, there's a lot of supplies you have to take. And when we go here in West Virginia, at least, where we are is there. That's all that what you bring with you is what you have. It's not like you can just run to Walmart real quick. Walmart is an hour and a half away from the campground. So, yeah, been stressing that a little bit. But we'll get it done. We'll have fun. We'll see what happens. So that's what I have for you today. Again, if you have any tips for me on how to level out this epoxy, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you for being amazing people, wonderful friends. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from todayifoundout.com, by the way, an amazing YouTube channel. Go look them up. What causes muscle soreness following strenuous exercise? Since the early 20th century, the specific type of muscle soreness called delayed onset muscle soreness was thought to be caused by lactic acid buildup in the muscles during strenuous workouts where your body's oxygen supply is depleted.